Well, howdy folks. Today I have a beautiful Nagant holster for, I believe, the Nagant revolver. This one's kind of special. It's got some silver on it, obviously added by a predecessor, previous owner. It's a full restitch and some D-rings and a couple rivets and all kinds of stuff like that. But it's a pretty slick holster. I'm going to take you through the process of what I got to do to make it pretty again. Not that it's not pretty. It's an awfully nice looking holster. But we'll get her done. Almost forgot all about you. I just sometimes get in here and get going and off I go working. I made my billets. This is going to be for the D-ring here. This one is going to be for the belt keeper. Hope I made it long enough. It's one of those, I don't want it too long, but it needs to be long enough. So I'm going to dye these. I thought I had some strap that was the right color already, but I didn't. And then we'll move on to the next thing. So here's that buckle, and it's a bit different. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the stitching so I can take it off of here. All this thread looks like it was brown thread to begin with, albeit a kind of a light brown. So I don't know if I'm going to dye thread or if I've got some brown linen thread, so we might go that route too. What do I do with my knife? There it is. So this buckle has been on here for a really long time, which is kind of cool. Slide it down. It crosses over right here, and that is quite obvious. So all I'm going to do is pull this buckle off. I'm going to clean it real good. And I think I'm going to use Bic-More for that. But, pick all these threads out. Because that is kind of what my life has come to. This is just an old sweatshirt. There we go. I'm going to keep cleaning here. I've got the rest of the holster to get done, and I'll buff these straps out as soon as I feel ready to. And then I'll get back sooner or later. Might be tomorrow. I gotta let my leather dry. Thought I'd interject a little bit here. When it comes to cleaning some of this stuff, it's just got, I don't know if it's dirt left over from the Russian front or what it is. But especially like the inside part of the holster, it's really hard to clean that with anything. So what I usually will do is I'll just kind of give it a good buffing out with a brush. This is just a fairly soft bristled brush. And just make sure that you got the dirt out of there. Almost forgot about y'all. Started sewing stuff on. I got my little loops on here for the cleaning rod, which is pretty awesome. And then I just kept going. So I already stitched in the divider here. So this pocket will hold 6 rounds in the front and 6 rounds in the back. That's what that divider does. It's pretty cool. I already started stitching on the pocket. Sorry I didn't let you know what I was doing. You can shame me down in the comments below. I don't mind. I stitched the strap on in the first few holes here, because there's 3 or 4 holes here, and then it'll attach here as well, so I'm kind of working after that. Alright. There we go. Pocket is stitched back on. Now the flap here, that goes back on this way. And we'll have that attached. I'll go ahead and do that off camera. You've seen me stitch enough stuff. And I'll be right back. I already did the strap too. Sorry guys. But sometimes you just gotta keep moving. Now this thread I'm putting in is butterscotch. It is a wax linen thread. Been trying to save myself a little time here and there. This is a very, very close match to what was in it. But it really seems kind of thin. It's a 3-cord, or 3-ply, excuse me. This company calls it a ply. And this is about as close as a guy could get to what it looked like. So now I'm going to try to sneak under the lid here. Just like that. And then I'll be able to tie off under there. Even though it did show me a knot right here on the outside. I think I want to tie off between the layers here. Put it away. Why would I put something away? There we go. Just like that. I was able to get some shape back into the pocket. Not as much as I had hoped for. This is still a little crunchy here, but you know, I'm good with that. That looks pretty good. Can see the stitching inside maybe. She looks pretty good. Well, I am to a point now where I can start stitching these billets up. The D-rings are they're pretty darn close to the same shape as the original ones. These were some inexpensive ones that I had purchased, and they were nickel plated, but they were steel under. So all I had to do was strip the plating off it. As much fun as that's not, it works, and it gets me what I need. So it's just a pretty simple deal. This one, you can see where the rust from the previous rivet kind of got in there and really messed with the leather. So I'm gonna have to be a little careful. Well, okay, a lot careful. There we go. Don't necessarily like it, but I didn't have a whole lot of choice on it. So let's see. This one goes over here. That's the one I want to put in first. I've got 3 pieces left for this holster to go back together. One is the flap, which is probably going to be my next piece. Like talked about order of operations, and there's just kind of, sometimes it's just hard to figure out which way things have to go back together. But I think I'm best off to do the flap now. Then there's a toe plug. This little guy fits in there. And then I'll put the toe plug in. Actually, I'll put this strap on. 1 row. The second, there's 2 rows of stitching on it. The second one is with the side seam. So I'll stitch it here on this row, and then I'll do this row when I go up the holster. So I will do the flap, then I'm going to put the strap, and then the toe plug. The toe plug is a box stitch. They're not terribly hard to do, but they're more of a pain in the butt than anything. So that's the way I'm going to attack this. The stitching on this flap, I'll show you better on the flap, looks like it goes all the way around. It will go from here around and back. These will get caught when I do the side seam. So that's the direction I'm going. We'll see how we do. I'll let you watch me struggle for a minute, and then I'll just do the rest off camera. Take 2. Screwed up my stitching. I stitched this around and I came up short. The one thing I've always said, you never want to come up short on your thread. I came up an inch short. Well, I probably would have been okay. This thread is just, when you're pulling through holes, this many holes, it kind of starts to fray the thread a little bit. And when it frays, it'll break a ply or one of the cords within the thread. And then it bunches up when you pull it through and you can't get past it. You got to stop, cut it off, rethread your needles. Had I done that, I never would have made the end. So I came up about an inch short, which sucked. So, restitching it, because I'm not gonna, I can't deal with that. I'm gonna do this in 2 lines. There is an order of operations. I say it all the time. I preach it. There's always an order that you have to do things. Or should do things. So I have my ammo pouch on it. I have my cleaning rod loops are on. My billets for the shoulder strap are on and riveted and all ready to go. So the next thing I need to do, I have 4 things to do. I have the flap. I have a strap, which I will stitch this row next. And then I have the toe plug, which goes down in the bottom here. And then I'll do this, and this is the order that I'm going to do it in, by the way. And then I will stitch up the side seam. Part of this lid stitches with the side seam right here. Cool, no problem there. I'm going to do the bottom row this bottom row of stitching here. I'm going to terminate it over here. I'll stitch right up to where this pin is and sneak it through the under the layers, and that will secure that. And then I will come down here and secure it down here. Just the best way that I can think of to do things. So that's what I'm going to do. So even though I pulled off way more than I thought I would need, I didn't end up with but just barely enough to tie off. And that's just that one stitch line. Some of the things you got to consider with the length of your thread is the size of just the spacing, I guess, better word, spacing of your stitch holes. These are fairly close together. They're probably about a 3 millimeter or 3 1/4 millimeter. They're not 4 like I'm used to with the Luger holsters. So it's another one of those things you just got to keep that in mind, that when your stitching gets this close, you use more thread because you're going in and out more. There. I'm going to get the other line done. So now it's time to, I'm just going to do this. There's 2 lines of stitching on here. One of them I'm going to do now. The other one goes when I do the whole side of the holster. So that is going to be that. There we go. I'm going to set up to get this toe plug stitched in. These are generally a pain in the tush, especially one that's already been installed. I have to find, you know what? I think that's exactly where I want it. It's usually kind of a pain in the butt to figure out where these got to go. I can use that needle to show you how to box stitch. It's exactly what it does. Sorry, I'm a little raspy, got a cold yet. That's exactly what you got to do with your needle, and then it just comes back around. Just like a saddle stitch. Well, it is a saddle stitch. It's just going through a corner like that. So, I'm going to find another spot. Well, there we go. That was easy. Normally when you're doing a box stitch like this, you'll mark your holes around the outside, and then you'll come through with the stitching awl to make your hole through. So you come in like this, poke your hole through, make your stitch, move on to the next one. But I always mark the holes on the side. I'll actually punch these out with a regular stitching chisel. I'll punch all my holes around the outside. The toe plug itself, you have to go through with an awl. So there you go. I'm going to get this some needles threaded up and move on to this. It looks like it's going to go pretty smooth, I hope. It can be pretty tough to get these toe plugs started. This probably isn't the best one, but it is a good one. I have another one that I have to do. This one's quite a bit bigger. So I'll probably show you on that one a little more detailed on how I do them. Well, how I do them for restoration work, I guess. I'm just going to tie it off now, and it's going to fall right between there, which is why you start and stop at the toe, the pointed part. Just take something, poke that thread back up in there. And there you go, toe plug installed. There we go. What do you have to show for all your hard work? A pretty nice looking holster for a Nagant pistol. This is really in good shape. So, it's a pleasure to restitch it all. Just had to make a couple of parts for it. Not such a big deal. Had the cleaning rod here, or the cleaning rod retainer down there. Apparently he likes to have the there we go. The cleaning rod fits in okay. Mostly it was a restitching job. The only piece on here I had to make was this one. I had to make a keeper for the strap and a billet on the strap to hold another D-ring. The D-rings on here are steel, and the only way I could do this was to find some nickel plated ones that I had laying around, strip the nickel plating off them. Had to do the same for the rivets. I give them a little polish so it'd look a little nicer and kind of not rust as soon. So the strap is done. I'm not sure how happy I am with it. I may remake that billet. This is a bit of a rare holster because of the silver hardware that was added at some point. I'm going to treat the strap again. Just, you know, straps take a lot of abuse. So I'm going to treat that again. At that point, I'll decide if I want to remake this strap or this keeper here. But for now, I'm just going to give everything another once over. Maybe try to burnish the edges of this billet real quick, just so it matches a little better. And then we'll ship her out the door.